All right. After a close match at Eagle last week, to then come back home and beat them 2-0 when they're leading the division, what does that mean for this program?
When we played them last week, we knew when we walked away that it was a game that we could have, I think, gotten a different result in. And I think building off of that, going into kind of, I would say, the final stretch of the season for us, I think to go from losing on the road, we've said this every time we leave a game, it was like welcoming them into City Stadium. They have no idea what to expect. And their coach said just the exact same of like, this is different. And so, I mean, for us to go from a week ago losing to them to beating one of the top teams in the country is just a really positive result. The girls had a lot of fight tonight.
Awesome. Speaking of that fight, a lot of fight from Taylor tonight. Talk about what you saw from her, especially in getting on the end of crosses coming in, especially that one from Kim.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to push for that goal to be Sports Center top 10. Taylor's great tonight. I think all over the place. You know, I liked her better up front in the front line. We had to move her back into the midfield to kind of move some pieces around to make sure at that point we were just trying to finish the result with a result. But Taylor's great. She's all over the place. She's a monster getting into the box. She obviously can get on the end of crosses. She can bury the ball in the back of the net. And so for us, a really positive night from Taylor.
Awesome. Kylie made her presence known again in the midfield. Talk about what you saw from her as well as from Hannah and the two of them playing together.
Yeah, I mean, Hannah had her hands full. That was, their number 24, jersey 24, was arguably the best player on the team. Hannah had her hands full the entire game. I thought Hannah was dynamic across the board. She played, coming off the heels of Wednesday, she thought she played really well there. And then again tonight, a really positive result from her. And then Kylie continues to be the unsung hero, I think, in the midfield. All over the place, on the ball, gets stuck in, reads the game well. She's often in spaces and pockets where you don't really know that she's there, and then all of a sudden she's on the ball and we get out. So from them, I thought midfield locked it down for us this evening, right in front of the back line.
Awesome. Kana and Kenley were really malleable for y'all tonight. They were a bit all over the field. Talk about what you saw from them and how that helped tonight.
Yeah, we lose something when we put Kana in the back line. We know that, but again, we were going after the result at that point. I thought we had well control of the game. Moving her into the back line, obviously you lose a little bit attacking wise, but she also just locks things down. And so to have two players that you can move from, I think, such a massive transition of playing as a high wide player for Kenley, as a 10 for Kana, and then move them into the back line is a big transition. I think it speaks to who they are as players. And it takes a special player to go from a very attacking-minded role to a center back role or an outside back role. I thought both of them did really, really well, and again, locked it down for us.
Awesome. And then speaking of locking it down, Lauren made an 8-save shutout tonight at home. Talk about what you saw from her.
Yeah, Lauren's been great. I thought Lauren was great tonight. I think her presence, the way she's able to command the back line, the way she's able to just control the game. There's a couple moments where I think she came up really big tonight and I think locked it down for us. But again, it's all about how she communicates with the back line. I think her leadership in the back line, her ability to distribute, her ability to read the game, her ability to kill the clock as well. I think all of those, she's a really strong presence in the goal.
Awesome. And then lastly, from me at least, 4,300 people here tonight. How does that affect the game, and what do you have to say to the fans that love this team?
There's no place like home. We continue to say that. We've said it every time we go on the road. The experience for road games is nothing like the experience at home. And when we travel, we have to bring our own energy. And I told the girls before, I said we need to continue to match our own energy, but we need to feel off the energy that we get here. And the fans continue to be unmatched across the board. We've now been to every place in the Mid-Atlantic. I can tell you there's no place like City Stadium.
All right, Coach. How impressed tonight were you with your players' composure on and off the ball?
For me, I think overall just a really solid result for everyone. I think their composure on the ball, their ability to just kind of kill the game and play possession, and then they press us and we're able to get out. There was a couple shaky moments that we talked about at halftime a little bit of, hey, they're going to high press us. They're likely going to look to play beyond us. How do we contain that? But overall, composure at home is just a really good feeling, and to do it with the heat of the game that when we started is just again really positive result from them.
And using the heat of the game, you guys scored very early on, and 4,300 people here in attendance. How much does that amplify your game plan of pressing them and making the other team have mistakes?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we want to consistently play our style of play, consistently play our game. I think getting a goal early right there in front of Section O is obviously one that we want to continue to do. I know the fans love that aspect and the energy, and the fans will give me a hard time that the girls didn't celebrate the first one in the corner, but Taylor Berry got us on the second one. And so again, it's just fueling off the energy of the crowd for us is incredibly important, and I think it gave us the ability to just lock the game down. You put a team under pressure early, especially that type of team, bury a chance in the back of the net. I knew if we went up 2-0, we would have a little bit more control of the game. I'd have liked to go up 3. I hated 2-0 lead, but a win at home, you're always excited about it.
And we know like playoffs aren't determined yet, but it looks a little tough.
Yeah.
But how impressed you are with your team and how they're looking to finish out the season?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, we've talked about from the beginning of we want to build out not just for the current season, we want to build out for the longevity of the team. And so we're looking ahead from not just this season, obviously we want to be competitive, but we're looking to next season, and we're already talking about next season as we look to wrap up this season, but not moving on out of this season too fast. And so I think the biggest things is, again, like, yes, we had goals to push into playoffs. I think the biggest thing is, like, one, the players got something really positive out of it. The fans got something incredible out of it. We built something way bigger than ourselves in Richmond, and I do think we've accomplished that. And now it's just continue to lay the foundation to build on future seasons as well.
And lastly, you have 2 gems of players, Cameron and Kana. How important is it to have them in your team where you, like you said, like that technical flexibility where you can move them around in parks and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I think good players elevate great players. And so I think we get more out of players because they're playing around Kana, they're playing around Cam, they're playing around Kylie, and they're getting this experience of they're becoming better. I mean, you can look at these players. I talked to a player after the game tonight and just very thankful for the experience and how much better they've gotten just playing amongst the players. And that's what we want. We want the young girls and the fans that have, Simmons on the back of their jersey, and they're excited to come watch them, and they see themselves in these players. And having those 2 on the field amongst all the other girls, I think, is just a really positive thing for us. And I think, like I said, talent elevates talent.